emotionally when it starts to become clear, and I mean, let's be honest, guys, it started to become clear like 20 minutes into the game.
16 or something.
Yeah, so that this was a realistic possibility. What does that start to feel like?
I think just super emotional. I think right after the final whistle, I just kind of fell to my knees because I was just so mentally, physically drained. I could give nothing more. And the tank was definitely empty because we've given so much this past year into this, just building up to this tournament and training and everything. So I think for all of us, it's just a dream come true. And I think emotions just take over and you are realizing that this is, you've fulfilled one of your dreams of being a World Cup champion in your sport. And I think that it just was an amazing feeling, rewarding experience. And yeah, we are so thrilled to be winners.
And how do you stay mentally focused there in the second half? Because I already started posting on Instagram. I'm like, I did it.
We won!
I'm like, it's over. We won. So how do you mentally not let that get away from you?
It's tough. I mean, we can sit up here and be like, oh, we got to fight till the end and everything. But there was a moment at halftime where I was like, we won the World Cup.
Yeah. I mean,
they are not putting four in on us.
And our coach is like, okay, it's 0-0. Let's just go back out there, treat it like,
but you can't
we have to, and you're just like, we're crushing.
I think it happened so fast in the beginning that actually helped us kind of stay focused. We were like, this is just so surreal. We can't believe this is happening. Just keep it going. If it was like, sort of the end of the first half or maybe a little bit into the second half and all of a sudden it's 60 minutes in and we've just scored 2 more goals. But it just happened so quick that I think people were just caught off guard by it. And then it helped us kind of keep going.
The Russillo Show, Peter Rosenberg here talking to World Cup champions, Megan Rapinoe and Ali Krieger. Okay, so I'm going to be very blunt. I got really into soccer in 1994, like a lot of Americans did, right? It helped that I was also... my first girlfriend was Brazilian. It was Romario and Bebeto. It was a great time. And Alexi Lalas, that U.S. men's team, was sort of the beginning, at least in my lifetime, of like this U.S. men's soccer is going to be a thing. Like they're gonna do something. And now we're going to start building. It's going to take time, but in 20 years, they're really going to be something. It's 20 years later, and the men's team sucks. I'm sorry, guys. I know you guys are champions. What is it that you guys do that the men's team cannot seem to figure out about international play when it counts?
I think there's a few things. I think that we're on sort of the opposite end of the spectrum in terms of the infrastructure and development. So the men is trying to catch up to the rest of Europe and to the rest of the world, sort of late to the party a little bit. So yes, we're doing much more and we have the academies, but we're still trying to catch up to the best leagues in the world. And I think on the women's side, it's the opposite. This team has always been, very well funded and supported, and our infrastructure is good, and we put money into the program, and a lot of these other programs don't. So we're like the trailblazers
of women's soccer, whereas men are last to the party in men's soccer.
And they're trying to just like dig up that hill, and it's tough because while we're putting tons more money in for the men and putting more, I guess, just resources and more people are playing. Well, then you go to Germany and they're like, dialed for the last 1 million years.
Yeah, like since like BC, they've been playing soccer.
Germany, BC.
Yeah.
So it's tough for
them. They have like U4, like U3.
And around the world, that's football's it. That's what everybody plays. And then it's like if you're probably not good enough to be a football player, then you'll like do other sports, or maybe it's the opposite here or something.
But you have to like see that the men's team is doing like so much better than we.
You think my saying sucks harsh?
Yeah, I totally support our men's team, and I think that they have recently they beat Germany, they beat Holland, and those are 2 top 10 teams.
They did.
And I think like it's really impressive, and to see a lot of the younger players kind of jump into that starting lineup and really make a difference, and it looks like it's in good hands, and I think that it can only get better.
And listen, obviously, hopefully with Klinsmann, things are going to be different moving forward, and you do have to stick with someone and build an actual program. And the reason I spoke with such passion about it is like I love them. Like when I first got into it,
I know it can be really frustrating.
It can just be frustrating.
Yeah,
so when a Brazilian gets you into soccer. Yeah. And you get really into it. And I was like, after that team, I fell in love with Ronaldo, right? So then I'm like, soccer becomes this thing that's so beautiful. And our game, even when we're playing it at its best on the men's US side, it's not as pretty. It's a different sort of game. But I'm cool with that as long as we could just be competitive in the games that really, really matter. But you know what? You're right, Allie. I'm going to be positive. We're playing right now.
We are. So let's just
Do you laugh at them secretly, though? Like, do you also sort of look down your nose at them and be like, why can't you be more like us?
Why can't you just win the World Cup?
No, I just don't.
It's not that hard.
Just one.
Obviously, we can't compare, but yeah, we want them to win a World Cup.
And what about your guys' personal futures, Megan? I mean, you guys are both 30?
Yes.
So you're both 30 on the dot.
Yeah.
What do you see for yourselves? I mean, obviously things are different. If you come up just short in the World Cup, there's a difference between that and winning. Obviously, a huge difference in terms of how you plan your future. How do you guys see that? For you, Megan, for example.
I'm going for it. I still love it. I still enjoy it. Next World Cup is in France. I love wine, so it's just kind of it's in the cards, really.
I mean, World Cup in France. Vancouver's a beautiful city.
Yeah.
It's amazing. France is a different animal.
Yeah.
Like, that's going to be super. So both of you are anticipating trying to do at least one more.
Yeah, people have been throwing around that I'm retiring or maybe retiring after this, and that's completely false.
Oh, sorry, I started that rumor.
Yeah, so Pinot needs to.
Yeah.
So you're hearing it from me that I'm not. I'm completely in agreement with Pinot, and I'm going to try and continue to play. I still love it. I live it, and to play at the highest level is what makes me happy. So I'm going to do it for as long as I can, and see how I feel.
Pinot, Kriegs, champions.
Yes.
Thank you guys. I'm very, very proud and happy of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having us on.